Speaking.
Hey, New York City, it's cold and it's damp, and all the people dressed like monkeys. Let's leave Chicago to the Eskimos. That town's a little bit too rugged for you and me, you bad girl. Rolling down Imperial Highway, big nasty red at my side. Savannah wind blowing hot from the north, and we was born to ride. Roll down the window, put down the top, crank up the Beach Boys, baby, don't let the music stop. We're gonna ride it till we just can't ride it no more. From the South Bay to the Valley, from the West Side to the East Side. Everybody, very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. Looks like another perfect day. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. Look at that mountain, look at those trees, look at that bum over there, man, he's down on his knees. Look at these women, ain't nothing like them nowhere. Century Boulevard, we love it. Century Boulevard, we love it. Santa Monica Boulevard, we love it. 6th Street, we love it, we love it, we love it. We love LA.
Hold on, I gotta pop this thing out real quick. Hold on. I grew up with Magic and Kareem, and that.
I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it.
We love it. We love LA. What is up, party people of the SFL? What's going on tonight? Welcome to the huge episode 39 of Axis Live. I am your host, Dave Axis, as always. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I see everybody talking about my Lakers and my Dodgers world champs in the chat. So, yes, I did live in California for 50 years, FYI. I've been in Knoxville for only 13 months, so I just got here. I am a Southern California sports fan through and through, so just a little FYI. Anyway, thank you again for tuning in tonight on a very, very busy Thursday night, so I appreciate you being here. I know why you're here. You know why you're here. We all know why we're here tonight. It's championship week, baby. Championship week. We're talking about the champions. We talked about the Dodgers. We talked about the Lakers. And now we're going to be talking about Baltimore. And we're going to be talking about Sioux Falls tonight. So we've got the game this Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern on 11 Sports. And for the fans, it's the Season 15 SFL Championship between the 4-seeded Baltimore Vultures and the third-seeded Sioux Falls Sparrows. This is what 22 SFL teams started out trying to achieve this season. 440 SFL players, 11 playoff teams, and it all comes down to the last two teams, the last 44 players in the SFL, to see who goes home the champs and who just goes home. Sioux Falls coming off last season's championship game loss to Atlanta, and Baltimore finally making their first championship game appearance. It's red and black versus yellow and black. It's Vultures versus Sparrows. It's bird on bird, baby. This is the Bird Bowl. Hashtag Bird Bowl on Twitter. Don't forget about that. All right. SFL 15 championship game this Sunday. Let's get it on, and let's check out the chat and see who's in here. Let me scroll back and see who's all here. We got a decent amount of people in here tonight. I know we got a whole lot of other stuff going on, but it looks like we're pushing 50-something. So glad to have everybody here. Chris Lee's in the house as always. Wiggy, Will Todd, Bo Martin Jr., Art Vandelay, of course. The commish is here. What's up, party people? Hugo, Bob Funk, Cregan 610, Pink Lisa, my lovely wife is here. Monica Naka. No, I'm not moving back to LA, bro. I'm in Tennessee for good now. I'm going to die in this house. Eagles in the chat. Jack Lewis is in there. B.E. Robo, my main man. Greg Soto, my OC. What's up? Mac Chima is in there. I see him. Who else? London Jets Chad. I got Deacon Nickens is back. Deacon, I haven't seen you for a couple of shows. Where you been, bro? Chucky B's back again. Doug Britton, of course. AJ, good to see you, sweetie. Glad you're here. Glad you're in the chat. Too Cold 49. Frank, you're in there, of course. Slyn Shady. Man, we got a lot of people. Eddie, what up, Doe, is in the house. What we got? BJ Loveless is back. I haven't seen you for a bit. I haven't seen you for a minute, bro. Where you been? You guys all hiding from me, hiding from the show? What's going on? All right, so we got all the shout-outs out of the way. Let's get to the introductions. First man that I want to introduce, he's been gone for a week, but now he's back. He is Frank the Franchise Wade. Frank, welcome back to the show. How you been, bro?
I've been good. I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. Also back with us is Thomas Smith. Thomas, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, Dave. Congrats to your Dodgers.
Thank you, bro. I know that hurt to say. I know that actually really hurt to say, but I appreciate you saying it. We've got the Hall of Famer with us tonight, Mr. Eddie Gage. Eddie, what's going on with you, bro?
What up, Doe?
What up, Doe? What else we got? Oh, hey, he hasn't been here in a minute either, but staying up late for us like he has on many occasions before, calling from all the way across the pond. Slyn Shady's back with us. Slyn, what's going on with you, bro?
David, how are you?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm glad to have you back. It's been a while.
It's been too long. I'm just wondering, who were the Dodgers? Who were they? Are they a football team?
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you want to wait for the after dark, I'll give a whole Dodger history lesson if you want to stay up until morning time. And,
I know it's a crappy baseball team, don't you?
Oh, here we go. You're too busy playing cricket or something, probably, right?
No, that game lasts 5 days. So no way.
All right. Anyway, also with us tonight, the newly appointed, last few weeks, general manager for London, speaking of across the pond, Chad Rollins back with us. Chad, how you doing, bro?
I'm not giving you any congratulations for the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. You're a Giants fan, right? Is that what it is?
Well, when
Giants?
you win 3 in 5 years, come talk to me.
Oh, okay, that's all right. When you guys actually have 6 in California, come talk to me. Also with us tonight, unveiling his top secret, confidential, in a briefcase, chain handcuffed to his wrist, spread and over under for the championship game. Hunter Norwood is back with us. Hunter, how you doing?
Doing good. Go Rays still.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, you know where they're going. They're going home without a World Series championship. Hey, yo.
Hey,
That's all right. Helping us out once again with the minor league previews. Tyler Falk is back with us. Tyler, welcome back.
Hey, Dave. It's a tantalizing Thursday evening.
It really is. We got a lot going on. Gunny is here, as always, to give us his wisdom. Gunny, how you doing?
Go Atlanta. I don't know which team, but go Atlanta. I'm good.
All right. He was breaking up a little bit, but I heard something about Atlanta, so I think he's talking about the NFL. And then we have 4 gentlemen that are here from the teams that are going to be playing in the championship. We have 2 from Baltimore. We have 2 from Sioux Falls that will be interviewed periodically throughout the show. First, we have T-Roy Gaines, running back from Baltimore. T-Roy, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine, Dave. How's it going?
It's going great. I think you were on this show like way back when I first started, right?
Yeah, week 1 after we lost to Atlanta. So yeah, that was a fun
there it
one.
is.
Yeah, me and Chad knows all about that show.
Well, there you go. It's like bookend shows, man. You're at the beginning, you're at the end. It worked out perfect.
Yeah, it did.
All right. Also, the dynamic wide receiver from Baltimore, Mac Chima, is with us as well. Mac, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. One of the most amazing running backs we have in the SFL, Colin Hart, is with us. Colin, how you doing, bro?
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We got a lot going on tonight. We got a busy show. And then his partner in the backfield, the fullback from Sioux Falls, Jalen Wells, is also with us. Jalen, what's going on with you?
I'm good. How's everything going?
Doing great. We're doing outstanding. We're about to kick this shindig off. Hopefully, I covered everybody. If I forgot anybody, you should probably speak up now. We only got like 20 people in the call. But all right, so we're gonna do a little different format tonight. We're gonna look at highlights. We're gonna do interviews, and then we're gonna break down the offense and the defense for each team. So to kick things off tonight, we're going to be showing you a highlight of Mr. T-Roy Gaines in his last game in the semifinal.
7.3 yards per attempt for Wigmore today. 2nd and 5 they'll give to Gaines. Gaines with room. T-Roy Gaines with a block. T-Roy, see you later. Baltimore, unless he's run down, no. Touchdown, Vultures. They are going to tie this thing up if they kick the extra point.
Best rushing defense in SFL history, and T-Roy Gaines makes them look silly, getting into that open field, getting through the offensive line.
T-Roy, how long was that run?
I believe it may have been 70 yards. I got lucky on that one.
Dang, bro. Yeah, you got some speed. You got more speed than I thought you had, actually. Let me ask you, what was it like playing in the snow in Denver? Have you guys played in the snow even any time this season or last couple seasons?
The last time we had a snow game was against Denver. We got our butts handed to us that game. So it actually feels good that we was able to go into Denver and play a decently good game on offense. So
awesome. Well, I just looked it up. That was a 71-yard touchdown. So there you go. 71 yards. You had 24 carries, 153 yards that game. Outstanding. How do you feel about your season overall? You were 8th in the league in rushing with 1,158 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, but you also had 7 receiving touchdowns. You turned into this dual threat running back, or what's going on there?
Well, that's been the game plan since I joined in season 11, is just be able to catch the ball out of the backfield and then produce as the bell cow. So, well, this season, I'm not as happy as I was in previous seasons. I think that there are some games, especially against Sioux Falls earlier this year, where I just choked. So, and there's other games where I was able to come through. So this season's been a mixed bag personally, but in terms of the team wise, I'm very happy about the result that we're now in the championship game.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm going to come back to you again in a minute, but I want to go to Frank the Franchise Wade. And Frank, tell the listeners, tell the panel, tell everybody that's listening about this Baltimore offense, how they had to change mid-season, the ups and downs, the rushing game, the passing game, the whole 9 yards. Break it down for us.
Like I said, all season long, Baltimore's offense has been the most consistently balanced, in my opinion. There are a few teams out there that are comparable, but on a consistent basis, it's Baltimore. The Dazzo stepping down after week 6 was a surprise, but Mike's replacement was no rookie, considering the fact that they were able to use the system to progress him where they needed him to be, and he jumped in right away and filled in quite nicely. Stat-wise, very comparable to Mike Dazzo when it was all said and done. They both threw 12 touchdown passes in 6 games apiece. He's averaging 2 touchdowns a game. That puts him in the top 5. He only averages 1 interception a game. He has a quarterback rating of 96.1, which ranks him 4th. Baltimore's offense is 1st in turnovers with only giving away the ball 16 times. Second in turnover differential with a plus 13. Third in points scored with 337. Third in points per game, 31. Fifth in rushing TDs with 14, I should say. Fifth in total yards with 4,696. Fifth in yards per game with 391. Sixth in TD passes. Baltimore's home and away are pretty comparable as well. If you look at the total yards away, it's 381. At home, it's 385. Rushing TDs, 1.5 on the road, 1 at home. First downs, 20.8 on the road, 21 at home. So they're very comparable stats, home and away. T. Roy Gaines, like you said earlier, ranked 8th. He's also ranked 6th with those 14 touchdowns that you mentioned. He's touched the ball 277 times, with 74 of those being receptions out of the backfield. Ivory Irvin is the favorite target with 133. He is 5th in receiving yards with just over 1,000 yards, but he's only seen the end zone 4 times. Look for Gaines or Mac Chima to find the end zone this week. They're both tied for 13th in TD receptions with 7. Lloyd Graham Jr. Quietly has had a good season for a tight end. He's averaged 12.4 yards a reception. That puts him only behind Adam Williams and Mike Daggs. He's also 5th in total yards for tight ends. Offensively, it's no surprise that the Vultures are here. They've been very close the past few seasons, and it was just a matter of time. They're well coached. The organization is consistently at the top of the win-loss record, and you can't stop all facets of their game. This is considered an away game for Baltimore, but this is the championship game. The stats are close. They took down one of the best teams in the league on the road last week to get here. Don't hand Sioux Falls the title just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore started off a little slow. I'm going to bring Chad in here in a second. Chad, at the beginning of the season, we talked about the secondary, especially after that week 1 loss to Atlanta. I think Baltimore was always good on offense. I think it was their defense that we needed, or they needed, to pick it up, so then they could really start beating the teams they needed to beat. But just on the offensive side of the ball, let me ask you, what do you think of the job that Jack Wigmore has done taking over midway through the season?
Jack has done a really good job. He already knew the offense because of the fact that, he's involved with the coaching side of it and everything else, but easily be able to come in and take over for a legend like Mike Dazzo. It's a challenge, but he's one that really came in and Coach TJ and the rest of those guys, they've done a great job with utilizing the system that he's in. So he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I would say that he definitely has. And I'm going to actually, when I get to Mac Chima later, I'm going to ask him about the difference between the two quarterbacks as well. All right, moving on to our next interviewee from Sioux Falls. Let's hit the highlight for Colin Hart, and then I will introduce him. So let's hit the highlight for Colin first. Colin, what an amazing season you had as well. You were 3rd in the league in rushing with 1,574 yards, 15 rushing touchdowns. Having a back like Jalen Wells in the backfield with you, I'm assuming that helps take pressure off of your game, yeah?
Oh, 100%, yeah, for sure.
So I noticed, a lot of people picked Sioux Falls at the beginning of the season. Coaches talked about it. Gunny has talked about it. About you guys winning the whole thing. You have the championship experience from last season, going to the championship game against Atlanta. But the quarterback play has been not quite what I think people thought it would need to be. Tell me what it's like playing an offense where you're taking the bulk of the workload.
It's actually I actually kind of like it, to be honest. No, he does what he can, and when we need the big plays, when we need to air the ball out, he gets it there, and he doesn't turn it over that much, so he gets the job done when we need to.
No, he does. He's low on yardage, but he is very efficient, like you said. He's been very efficient through the playoffs, throwing, I think last game 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So that's been good. Tell me what the mindset was for you guys in the offseason and going into this season after losing that game to Atlanta. Have you guys just had your nose to the grindstone and been thinking championship the entire time, or you've been taking this week by week?
Oh no, it's a championship from as soon as we left the field, it was championship next season. That's all we've been thinking about is we were so close, we got there, and then it was disappointing and then we lost, so it's just nothing but thinking about the championship and getting back, and here we are. So
yeah, I think you guys have actually set a really good model for other teams, like our own, like Lone Star, where you've got a lot of guys that stay together for a long time, take the time, put in the work, build everybody up. Who are do you guys have any offensive rookies on your team? I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's all veterans.
Yeah,
you guys have all veterans. So you have the benefit of an all veteran team that's been together for a long time. Last question before I go to Thomas to talk about your offense. There's, nobody ever sees Sioux Falls in Gen Chat. So does that mean your locker room is on fire all the time, or what's up with that?
Oh yeah, we talk all the time. That's all we do in there. We don't need Gen Chat. We're good. we just keep it to the locker room. We're silent but deadly. So
all right. So you just need Sioux Falls chat. You don't need Gen Chat.
Yeah, no, we're good.
All right, perfect. Attaboy. All right. So Thomas, Sioux Falls offense. I think that was. They've got one of the best running backs in the league. They've got great receivers. They have an efficient quarterback. Where are the weaknesses in this offense?
Well, obviously, Dave, that passing game struggles a little bit from time to time, but it just seems like this year it hasn't mattered. It's no mistake that Sioux Falls is here again. They were here last year. Everybody saw it. A lot of people predicted it, saying like Sioux Falls was such a great team last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in it again, and they're here. I think one of the big things for why they're here is just they're a team of adjustments. It seems like no matter what they face through the season, when they've gotten knocked down the next week, they come right back and they come back strong. I think the big thing for them is just adjustments, the way they watch tape, the way that coaching staff leads this offense and gets them out there doing what they need to do. I think that's what separates Sioux Falls from the rest of the pack. Just seeing the way they've kept Colin Hart and Jalen Wells pounding the ball, just so consistent with the strong defense, the strong running game. They keep showing that even though Julian Tyree's not out there putting up huge numbers every game, it's something they don't need. They just want to go out there, play defense, run the ball, and win games that way. And just the way they keep adjusting every week, it keeps working for them. You look at the numbers from their guys that you've been talking to. Colin Hart here, he had 232 carries for 1574, which that number alone is crazy. He was, I believe, number 2 out of all of the top running backs with 6.8 yards per carry. So he was out there doing what Reggie Streeter was doing. He just didn't have the 360 carries that Reggie Streeter had. With that average, if he would have had the same amount of carries as Reggie Streeter, we'd be talking about a different guy for MVP.
Right.
So I don't think Colin Hart gets enough credit for what he was doing this year just because of what Reggie Streeter put up, obviously the 2,200 yards. But just Colin Hart out there contributing every way he can. With the 6.8 yards per carry, the 15 rushing touchdowns, also added 38 receptions for 165 yards and another receiving touchdown. Going along with that, it's a two-headed rushing attack. They actually have the fullback that had the most carries this year. Everybody talked about Cameron Collier and how he was hitting it really well. Jalen Wells also led all fullbacks in carries with 134 and got his own numbers close to 500 yards with 462, only 7 less than Cameron Collier had at a 3.4 yard per carry average. But obviously coming from a fullback, you're not expecting the guy to go out there and get 7 per carry. You want a guy that's going to go out there on the short downs, get those first downs for you, and that's what Jalen Wells was doing for this offense. I could sit here and talk to you about the passing game, but again, everybody knows what Sioux Falls is about. They know that Sioux Falls is about that running game, about Colin Hart, Jalen Wells, just pounding the rock, controlling the ball. And I think the possession time that Sioux Falls has had in most of their games is what has really determined it for them. And everybody knows if you control the ball, if you have the time of possession, you're going to win the game.
Yeah, I like Colin mentioned too. I mean, having Jalen in the backfield with him really takes the pressure off of him as well. So if you don't, if you know the ball's going to go to Hart every time, easier to defend that. But if you got a fullback like Wells back there, you got to play the guessing game. Chad, let me go back to you for a second. Tell me, what does Tyree need to do for Sioux Falls to win this game on Sunday?
He's got to just control the game, in my mind. I mean, obviously Sioux Falls is a ground and pound type of team, but when you have the opportunity to take shots on this Baltimore defense, take the shot, see what you can do. But like I said, control the game, control it with that run game. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, I was looking over his stats. I think I might have just lost him too. Oh, there you go. In the semifinal game against Louisiana, and let me find it. Julian Tyree. I was trying to find his yards per attempt. Where'd they go? Oh, I can't find them now. But I thought it seemed like it wasn't very high. So what I'm thinking is, he stays efficient with the short to medium range passes. As long as he doesn't try to go deep on the Baltimore secondary, maybe he'll have a chance to keep that efficiency going. Yeah, go ahead if you don't mind.
So for Julian Tyree, he actually did have a pretty good yards per attempt, averaging 7.4 yards per attempt. Also had a 74% completion percentage. So when he threw that ball, he's pretty efficient. Obviously, he turned it over more than they would have liked with the interceptions, but he was a pretty efficient quarterback this year.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to find the yards per attempt in that game. I see the completion percentage is 65%. But for some reason, I can't find the yards per attempt in that particular game for some reason, but that's okay. Let me go to Hunter for a second. Hunter, you're the numbers guy. You're the Jack's data guy. Give me some information on these two offenses or whatever you have handy on you.
All right, let's see what we got. So as far as Baltimore goes, in the playoffs, they're averaging 38.5 points a game. It's obviously small sample size because 2 games. But on a season average, they were doing 31, just a touch over 31 points a game. And then Sioux Falls this season in the playoffs is doing about 33 points a game, and which is a bit higher than their season average of 28.5. So that's one thing. I've picked up some other stuff more so the in regards to like my lines and total stuff. So like Baltimore was 5-2 on the away record, including playoffs. Sioux Falls was noticeably 7-0 at home. Baltimore is 3-4 against the spread when they're away.
Ooh,
and then Sioux Falls is 5-2 when they're at home against the spread.
Okay.
And then both teams are 2-5, 2 overs and 5 unders for the total points. Then the other little tidbit was the average total for Baltimore when they're away is 52.5. And Sioux Falls, when they're at home, the average point total is 49. So you can keep some of those numbers in your head when I release lines and totals. And when we do get to that, I do have some, I can talk about like the different metrics I look at to arrive at the numbers I do arrive at.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll come back to you in a few minutes. Thank you, Hunter, for that. Let's move on to our highlight for Mac Chima before I interview him. Let's go ahead and see that highlight for Mac Chima.
But when it came down to getting it done, Baltimore was in a hole and they were able to climb out of it. And now they just have to put away 136 in the final timeout for Denver. Wigmore to throw, fires on a corner route. Oh, they're going to put it away here. Touchdown, Vultures.
Oh my goodness, Baltimore doing it to him again. They are just so good, and Wigmore steps up, adds another touchdown to his repertoire. 4 touchdowns.
Wow, first of all, Mac, what a catch on that. The spin, the one-handed grab for the touchdown in the snow. Tell me about that catch. Break that down for me.
What can I say? Yeah, it was a good route. It was a good throw. Well, kind of behind, but had a good concentration on it and caught it in the snow.
Yeah, that was something else. So, as I'm looking at your stats for this season, 75 receptions, 823 yards, 7 touchdowns. The stat that stands out the most for me, though, 11 yards per catch. So you're averaging over a first down per catch for the entire season. Tell me the difference between the first 6 games and the second 6 games with 2 different quarterbacks.
Honestly, I don't see any difference. I see a difference in my play. I think I just got better.
Okay.
Both Mike Dazzle and Jack Wigmore are 2 pretty good quarterbacks, so it was just like next man up. With the offensive game plan that we do have, it's like next man up. Oh.
Right. Did you notice any major differences between the 2?
That's a good question. Like I said, with the offense that we do have, it's almost like a plug and play, which that's a good thing. So It's like a plug and play type situation, in my opinion. So.
Okay. You're paired up with Ivory Irvin, who has had basically a career year with the 2 of you. Maybe, the top 3 or so wide receiver tandem in all of the SFL. Tell me what it's like playing with Ivory.
I just play off his energy. That's it. That's basically it. I just basically play off his energy.
Yeah, he seems to have a lot of energy, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's always doing those touchdown dances, those celebrations. Oh yeah, he's something else.
Almost he's my battery charger. So as long as if he has a good game, most likely I will have a good game. So
gotcha. All right. Well, let's go to Slyn Shady here in a second. I know that we have all offensive guests here tonight, and I love to talk about offense because I'm an offensive guy. But Slyn, we got to talk about defense as well. Tell me about this Baltimore defense and what they need to do to win this game.
First of all, you're lucky I'm still awake. But
hey, you're lucky you're still awake.
listening to Hunter, that's what woke me up.
Oh, there you go.
So it's interesting with Baltimore's defense because judging on how good the offense has been, you're kind of looking at the weaker side of the ball. And just looking at the base numbers across the regular season, you can kind of see why. So they were 16th in yards per game, 16th in passing yards per game, 12th in rushing yards per game, 16th in pass touchdowns conceded, 13th in rushing touchdowns conceded. So it's kind of bottom half of the league regarding the defense, which is quite surprising considering they've reached the championship game. But then you look at the actual points per game conceded, and they're 6th in the SFL in points per game conceded, which doesn't seem to add up when you look at the rest of the stats. And it's down. To me, it's purely down to turnovers. The secondary is clearly aggressive, and if they miss on one of those interceptions, it goes for a big gain, and that's probably where a lot of these passing yards are coming from. But they've had 29 takeaways, which has helped them to a plus 13 turnover differential. And obviously the offense is so efficient that, getting 29 takeaways really usually, I imagine, results in at least some kind of points. So whilst they do concede quite a few touchdowns, both on the ground and through the air, they must be limiting teams to those long drives and field goals constantly. by just taking the ball away so often. Now, Dave, I imagine if I said to you, who do Baltimore need to stop on Sunday, who would you say?
Colin Hart would be at the top of my list.
Exactly. Same here. So, what I've done is I've looked at the top 5 running backs in the league this season, and I've seen how Baltimore has done against those top 5 running backs, including Hart. They played Colin Hart in week 10. So, interestingly enough, Baltimore has played every running back out of the top 5 at least once this season. So they've had good practice, and it's been a mixed bag. They've played McChesney twice, and in week 4 he ran for 124 yards, 6.2 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, and and Baltimore actually won that game. The next week in week 5, they played Robert Redford. Similar sort of story: 136 yards, 10.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown for Redford, and they won that game as well, only conceding 23 points as well. Week 6 against Streeter, they actually lost this game, and Streeter went off for 228 yards, 3 touchdowns, like he did against most teams, to be fair.
Right.
Warren Murray, though, 20 carries, 40 yards, 2 yards a carry, no touchdowns, and Baltimore won that game. 2 more. Colin Hart in week 10, 172 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, and they lost that game to Sioux Falls, although only conceded 20 points in the game. And then obviously there was last week against McChesney again. Did a much better job against him, limiting him to 69 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. Now, Baltimore won most of those games, and you would say that those running backs have had good games. You know, it's not like Baltimore have done a great job of shutting down the top running backs, one of which they will face on Sunday. They've won those games because of the amount of turnovers again. Against Vancouver, they got 5 interceptions. Against Houston, they got 5 interceptions. Against Baltimore twice, against Denver twice, they got 2 interceptions. So the key is stop Colin Hart, force Tyree to throw the ball, and be aggressive and take the ball away, because the offense is so efficient that when it gets the ball, even against this Sioux Falls defense, it's likely to at least come away with some points. Key players on the defensive side of the ball this season, from front to back, we've got Tucker Lewis at the defensive tackle position, 13 sacks, 2 in the playoffs, 19 tackles for loss, 1 fumble recovery. He's going to be key at stopping Hart before he gets going. It's stopping Hart at source, getting those tackle for losses, forcing Sioux Falls into a long 3rd down. Frank Smith at linebacker again, going to be key in that area. Nolan Pierce also at linebacker was a great playoff so far. Didn't do too much in the regular season, but was one of these players that just seems to step up in the playoffs. And he's been excellent in run defense, as we saw in the game against Denver. And then the best player on the defense, in my book, and probably up there with the best player on Baltimore, is Giovanni Bolt. Look for him to get an interception from Tyree in this game. He's got 9 on the season, 1 more in the playoffs. He's a big hitter as well. I don't know if you remember, he was the one who injured Giacomo Jones early in the game with a huge hit against Denver, which must have derailed their sort of offensive plans somewhat. So basically, Baltimore have a definite chance. They've shown over the years that they can hold Colin Hart, because Hart's average over 4 games against Baltimore is under 100 yards per game, which, you know, for most running backs that would be okay, but for Colin Hart's average of his career is probably low. If they can also hold Sioux Falls to 20 points again, because that's what they did earlier this season, there's again a good chance that they will score more than 20 in this game, the way the offense has been playing, especially now Wigmore's had more time to get more sort of acquainted with his receivers.
Right.
they need to hold early to give the offense a chance to get ahead. If they can hold early and Baltimore can get a lead, Tyree will have to throw the ball to catch up. Hart will be used less. So if they can get ahead early, I think that'll be a key thing to sort of get them to the victory. And then if they can source turnovers and keep Tyree out of the red zone where he's most dangerous, keep him between the 20s, then they could make it a really rough day for Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I have interesting things about this defense, but here's the other thing I was thinking. You said Bolt, and you said he'll probably get an interception. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a punt or kick return for a touchdown either, because I think he just had one of those a couple games ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing about when he gets an interception. There's always a chance he's going to return it for 6 as well.
Yeah.
Because he's so good with the ball in his hands. So, when I said that Bolt's one of the best players on the Vultures, it's not without his merits.
Yeah, I agree. At any given time, he's one of the best players on the field. Let me go to Chad real quick. Chad, can't talk about the Baltimore defense without asking you a couple personal questions. Obviously, number one, do you miss playing with this defense? And number two, do you regret leaving earlier in the season, seeing as where Baltimore is now?
You just got to hit me where it hurts.
Dude, come on. You knew I had to ask that.
I know. No, I do miss being in Baltimore, obviously, with all these guys. One of the guests tonight was my first ever draft pick, Mac Chima. So, Mac, thanks for doing what you do. I knew you were going to do that anyway. Another guy I brought in, Ivory Irvin, Frank Smith, all these guys that are big key contributors for Baltimore, I brought in. So yeah, I miss all these guys. And yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wish I would have never left. I'd be playing in the championship, but I can give my shirt size and ring size to TJ, in case they do win.
There you go.
Just in case if I get maybe an honorary ring, who knows?
There you go.
But yeah, it's gonna be a little hard to watch Sunday, obviously, on my side of things. But I'm really excited and really happy for all these guys, especially for TJ too, for all these years, and T-Pat for trying to get to this spot. Here they are now, and can't wait to see what they do.
Nice. I think everybody knows who you'll be rooting for, though, so that's pretty much a dead giveaway.
Sure.
I'll come back to you in a second about the Sioux Falls defense, but let's take a look at Jalen Wells' highlight reel first before I go and interview Jalen. Let's check out the highlight. Jalen, I love a mean, nasty fullback that takes care of short yardage situations and put the ball in the end zone. How do you love your role in Sioux Falls? Oh, did we lose Jalen? Where'd Jalen go? Oh, he bumped out of the server. Okay. Well, we'll come back to Jalen if he pops back in. But in the meantime, let's go to Mr. Hall of Fame defense himself, Mr. Eddie Gage. Tell me about this Sioux Falls defense.
What up, though, SFL Nation? Sioux Falls defense finished the regular season ranked 5th in points per game, giving up only 21.5 per. They finished 10th in rush defense, allowing 91 yards a game, and they finished 12th in pass defense, giving up 269 yards per game. They rendered 9 TDs on the ground and 16 through the air. That's 8th and 5th, respectively. What does that tell you, SFL Nation? That they're a bend but don't break defense. They give up 361 yards a game, which is 11th in the SFL. They also gave up 228 first downs in the SFL. That's 17th. Again, a bend but don't break defense. Their defense gave up 55% third down conversions. That's 18th, and they finished tied for 4th in turnover differential at +7. looking at all those numbers out there, it's obvious they're a bend but don't break defense. They'll give up the first downs, but they don't want to give up the big touchdowns. So they'll give you the first downs, but they don't give you the touchdowns. And to me, that plays right into Baltimore's hands, because anyone who's ever scouted against this team in the past will tell you they out route you to death. They throw drag routes, curls, stuff like that. Every now and then you see a hitch every blue moon. I mean, they don't take many shots deep. I remember their first game of the season when they played the Atlanta Swarm and they got down the fourth. And I remember I remember Cam was calling that game, and he was asking for more deep plays, but that's just not their style. They like to dink and dunk their way downfield safely, which is why their quarterback finished amongst league leaders in completion percentage, because they don't like to take a lot of chances. And that, to me, is going to be the key for them to win, is to stay within the game plan and not have to overexert themselves with a deep passing game. Alex Parker for Sioux Falls finished with 105 tackles. That's amongst the league leaders. His partner, free safety Jay Ringo, was second with 102 tackles. To me, I don't like to see a free safety finishing second on the team with 102 tackles, but that's just the style they play. They also have three other players on the team with 84, 75, and 74 tackles respectively, and Jose Fuentes, Nick Fargo, and soon-to-be Hall of Fame strong safety A.J. Levy. They don't have much of a defensive line presence in terms of sacks, because their team leader, James Kelly, only finished with 5.5 sacks. So they don't get to the quarterback often. It's not a strength of their defense, but to be honest with you, versus Baltimore, it won't have to be, because they like to get the ball out quick anyway. You won't see their quarterback hold on to the ball with 7-step drops too often, unless it's a 50Z post, which everybody in the SFL seems to be running these days. So that's, to me, them not having a strong defensive line presence in terms of getting to the passer won't be an issue for them, because Baltimore doesn't hold on to the ball anyway. A lot of people forget these teams just played back in week 10 of the season in Baltimore, and Sioux Falls walked away with a 20-17 victory. Their offense was prolific. They did whatever they wanted to do. They finished. Colin Hart finished with 23 carries for 172 yards. Their quarterback finished 23 of 29 passing. Yet they only walked away with a 3-point win, but on the road in a hostile environment with Baltimore versus one of the better teams in the SFL. I'll take it all day, every day, including game day. It's going to be a great game, and I can't wait to see how it pans out. I'll get to that pick 'em later, but I'm sure you'll probably be asking. But
oh yeah,
it's a good one.
All right. Well, before I get to Chad talking about the Sioux Falls defense, looks like Jalen Wells was able to get back in the server. Jalen, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. The question I was trying to ask you is, I was just saying how we at Lone Star, we've got a great, big, nasty fullback that does the dirty work, gets the short yardage, gets the short yardage touchdowns. I was asking you how much you love your role in Sioux Falls.
I love my role in Sioux Falls. Compliment to Colin Hart. Just pound and ground. I mean, ground and pound. Get these 1 yards, 2 yards, whatever they need me to do. But it all adds up, and just keeping getting these first downs and move the chains.
Yeah, and I noticed I was looking over the stats today. You had almost 500 yards rushing, a few touchdowns this season. Combined with you and Colin, you had over 2,000 yards rushing. But the thing that stood out to me as I'm watching a lot of your clips this season is your blocking.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you're one of the best fullback blockers I've seen all season.
Yeah, I mean, you got to invest the time, and I got to make these blocks. No, just spring Colin.
Yeah, well, I hope Colin's bringing you, good, alcohol, after the game, hooking him up on the field. He's hooking you up off the field, I'm hoping.
Yeah, he does his thing. He gives me a little bit every now and then. No?
Good deal. I'm going to come back to you in a minute as well when I come back to everybody else. But let me run over to Chad just for a second. Chad, tell me about this Sioux Falls defense, and tell me how they stack up to the Baltimore defense.
It's an interesting question, actually. To me, they're a team that just looking off of just the defense and stuff like that. They give up 16 points a game. To me, they're a little bit better than Baltimore's defense, and only because of the fact that with Baltimore, they have a little bit of younger players, and they have some great guys on that side of the ball. But look at last week's game, for example, playing against Louisiana. They were able to stop Johnny with that, and because they obviously Streeter got his stuff, but with Johnny, they were able to make some key turnovers and stuff like that. And they got to do the same thing. Both of these defenses can make turnovers happen. So that's a big key, and everything that Eddie touched on too. Because you basically kind of asked him the same question, I believe. And everything that he said was dead on when it comes to this defense.
Yeah. One of the intriguing things to me is the two secondaries against each other. We talked about Bolt for Baltimore, but I'm looking back at the list. Both AJ Levy and John Barnhart are Diva of the Week nominees from that Sioux Falls secondary. So that Sioux Falls secondary, Chad, is no joke.
No, it's not no joke at all. It's one of the better secondaries in the SFL for sure.
Absolutely. Hunter, let's bring you back in for a moment, and let's get down to business here. This is what the people want to know. We want to know what's the spread, what's the over-under, what's the percentage of winning by one team or the other in your sims, and any other extra information you have for us this evening.
Okay, so spread, I have Sioux Falls minus 3.5.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking 2.5 or 3, but 3.5 is right there in that wheelhouse.
And the total is going to be 51.5.
So you're leaning towards the defenses in this game, it looks like.
Yes. As far as the simulations go, I have Sioux Falls at 62% win chance. Some interesting things of note with the simulations. Since it simulates 10,000 games, I can average out projected points scored, and I can get a point total from my simulations, and I can get spreads from my simulations as well.
Right.
So through those, the point total was also 51.5. And the spread was Sioux Falls minus 5. So I brought it down from where that was. Let's see, some other things like with the totals again. So like simulations showed 51.5. I ended up settling on 51.5. There's a few different ways I can look at things. So like currently, including playoffs, Sioux Falls is averaging 29.2 points a game, and Baltimore is averaging 32.1. So one thing I might look at is just purely adding the two offensive outputs. So that gets you to 61.5. Which is kind of looking like what we see in the playoffs. Aside from, Sioux Falls put up 45 in the quarterfinals, but then they beat Louisiana 21-17 on a 38-point total. We have some formulas that we use that I'm not getting into that show some different point totals that brought it out to around 56.5. But even then, I don't quite see that many points being scored.
Well, the 62% stands out to me too, because I remember Baltimore at Denver. Denver had a 70% chance to win, and Baltimore won that game. Sioux Falls on the road at Louisiana, 60%, but they come home against a Baltimore team that beat Denver, and it's only 62%. Does your personal opinion correlate with the numbers that you run, or do you feel like it's going to be something different?
I have Baltimore winning.
Ooh, okay. So the numbers say Sioux Falls, but Hunter says Baltimore.
Yes. So like the only time my personal opinion I would say would ever kind of bleed into numbers would really
for
just
this
be on
second down and goal
totals.
attempt. Hand off to
'Cause,
Wells
the
again,
total
and this
is
time he
I'm
charges
putting my
forward.
opinion on
Offensive line,
what the stats are saying and also kind of what I would think the game would end up at. Because sometimes the stats would say, okay, the score should be somewhere in the 29 to 32 number.
Right.
Well, 29 to 32 isn't really a football score. It could happen, but it's probably not. So
Right.
you might roll that up to 30 to 33, or you might try to roll that back by a few scores. An interesting part I found was I did what our Jack's data formulas to find point totals, and I did that purely based on just what the teams were doing in the playoffs. So it's a smaller sample size, like I said before, but it's still an interesting thing to look at. That point total came out to 53, which started to bring it down further to what I was seeing. And noticeably, the spread on that one was Sioux Falls minus 10.5. Although I think that's mainly due to Sioux Falls has allowed 13 and 17 points, so they're only allowing an average of 15 points a game.
Okay.
So the numbers there are saying that Sioux Falls is going to hold Baltimore to a very lower score.
Wow.
Baltimore's allowing points because, they allow 34 to Denver and they allow, still only 17 to Mexico City, but still more. Still 25.5 points on average.
Well, Denver gave up 44 to them last week at home, so I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore surprises us again. I'm kind of feeling that as well, Hunter. Thanks for all the data and the info.
No problem.
Appreciate.
Quick bit.
Go ahead.
The 44 points last week was the most Baltimore scored at home this season.
You mean on the road?
Oh yeah, sorry, on the road.
Yeah. So you're not anticipating that again?
Numbers aren't anticipating it.
Aren't anticipating that? Okay.
And quick bit, not so much for points and spreads. This is the first time since season 6 that neither the 1 or 2 seed have appeared in the finals.
Wow.
And only the third time ever.
Well, we just did get done with upset weekend, so number 4, number 3 is what we get. We get Bird Bowl, which is going to be outstanding as well. All right, Hunter, thank you again. Just a reminder, this game, the championship game for season 15 in the SFL, this Sunday on November 1st, 4 p.m. starts the pregame, kickoff at 4:30 on 11 Sports and for the fans. Gunny, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it is time for you to give us some wisdom. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to go.
All right, it's all yours.
Baltimore joined the SFL in season 3. They've been with the league since season 3. The only time they missed a season was season 10 when they changed over from the Crabs to the Vultures. Sioux Falls, on the other hand, has been in the league since season 6. I'm honored to have on the panel tonight for the first time Colin Hart, Mac Chima, T. Roy Gaines, and Jalen Wells. I want to wish these guys congratulations in making it to the championship game this Sunday, November the 1st. Also, just a tidbit of history from the Gunny. On this date, November 1st, 1988, Gunny made his first steps on the yellow footprints at Parris Island on his way to become a United States Marine. Again, congratulations to everyone in the championship game. Good luck, and with that, that is all.
Hoorah, Gunny, and happy anniversary on November 1st, Brad. All right, we're going to get ready to go to Tyler to get our 2-minute drill for the SFL Minor League. But before we do that, I just want to let Colin Hart, Mac Chima, T. Roy Gaines, Jalen Wells know I'm going to be asking you more questions, so thank you for sticking around. When we do the pick-em at the end of the show, I already know who you're going to pick because you're all going to pick your own team. So in lieu of me asking you who you're going to pick, I'll be asking each of you an additional question. So please stick around for that. Tyler, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got 2 minutes. It's all you.
All right, thanks, Dave. It's the SFLm 2-minute drill. SFL Nation improved to 6-6 on Who You Got, which is the same record that I have with my picks. Let's quickly remind you of the game that was going on simultaneously alongside the show. The first ever hashtag Boat Bowl goes to Memphis, who won over Annapolis with a score of 23-20 as JP Wells punches in on a 4th and 1 on the goal line with under a minute to go. We'll take a deeper look at that game next week. In game 2, it's Salt Lake City at Albuquerque. Salt Lake City shocked SFL Nation when they rounded up the Navigators. Meanwhile, the Adams are coming off their bye week and look to continue their bombing raid with a win over the upstart Rustlers. Can the Rustlers wrangle up the explosive Adam offense? Not this week. They will fall 24-14. Game 3 sees Birmingham at Ottawa. The Fuel cruised to victory over Memphis last week and look to be in great shape to break through the Cavalry defensive lines. Ottawa were lucky to escape San Jose last week with a W, and they will have their toughest test so far this season. SFL Nation heavily favors Ottawa, but I don't think anyone can contain Riley Quintero or the rest of the Birmingham offense. It won't be another blowout, but it won't be close either. 24-10 Fuel. And lastly, San Jose at Tacoma. Someone's O has got to go, which means one of these two teams will finally win a game. The Flight have a great veteran D that will look to hold the line against the Grizzlies, who showed great grit and determination to mount a serious comeback that ultimately fell just short. The San Jose offense have struggled to put up more than 20 points all season, and it doesn't look good for them here. Tacoma gets their first win at 21-17, and that was the SFLm 2-minute drill.
Tyler, you are motivating, sir. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Sticking with the SFL minor league theme, before we get to Cam just jumped in. I'm going to go to Thomas first, then we're going to go to Cam. Thomas has updated his big board, so he's going to give us just a couple minutes of his big board update and let all of you SFLm peeps know kind of where you stand on Thomas's big board. So, Thomas, take it away.
All right, so for the minor league big board I got going on this week, we do have a new number 1 prospect at the top. It had been Colin Pierce for the last couple of weeks, but we had a little bit of a change up. And I'll tell you what, after hearing Tyler on his 2-minute drill there, I do not regret that I've moved him to my number 1 prospect for the upcoming draft this year. I think he's going to be a phenomenal prospect. I think he's going to bring a lot to a team. Just seeing the energy that he has here, seeing the energy he has in the broadcast, I'm excited to see what he does in this league. And I do not regret one bit moving him to that number 1 prospect slot. Some other guys I wanted to throw some mention to. We do have our first offensive lineman in the minor leagues now, offensive lineman Greg McDonaldson, a guy that's already been active in the chats, a guy that is showing what he's about. And I'm excited to see that we do have a user O-line in the minor leagues now. Hopefully we can see more as the season progresses. Another guy is quarterback Christian Brown, who has been rising up my board fast. I think he's a guy that we're going to see definitely going in the first round, maybe middle of the first round, maybe second round like we saw last year with Dynasty and Vasquez falling to the second round. That might be something we see just because obviously the teams that know they're going to be drafting one may wait on that. Just depends what ends up happening with these free agent quarterbacks. The last guys I wanted to shout out to are just the new guys we had joining that I'm going to be adding to my board this weekend. Cornerback Len Jones, defensive tackle Benny Butcher, cornerback Cody Griffin, and then we've got Rico McBride and Keenan Samuels, who I don't believe have positions yet. I could be wrong on that, though. Just welcome to the league, guys. Definitely make sure you're getting your names out there. Want to get you guys on this board. Stay active in the chats, talk to teams, figure out what you can do. That's all I got, Dave.
All right, awesome. Thanks for hustling through that, Thomas. I appreciate it. We have a special guest popping in between games and meetings and production and everything else that he's got going on with this busy championship weekend. So, Cameron Irvine, thanks for taking a few minutes to pop in and chat with us. How you doing? No rest for the weary, bro.
I'm tired. Jeez, like I ran a marathon.
Well,
so at least the game is over. Oh wait. Oh crap.
Oh, not even close, bro. You're a nice contrast to Tyler talking a minute ago, though.
How so?
It's like the tortoise and the hare right now.
Oh, I'm the hare, right?
They're the hare. Hey-o.
He's still better than me at talking anyways, so.
Well, that's still maybe we can do a poll on that in the server. Anyway, tell me how production's going. Tell me how everything's going with the build up and getting ready for this amazing championship game coming up on Sunday.
Sure thing. I got to put Hunter I gotta put Hunter in his place though here for a second.
Uh-oh.
I am the ultimate SFL historian, and I actually, there's the graphic. Yeah, I knew you were gonna put that up.
This is why, even if we can get you just for a couple minutes, that's all we needed, bro.
See, they now see the viewers drop when I started talking, so it's not just Slyn either.
It's been weird tonight.
So season 8, Queen City, there were conferences back then. Queen
Right.
City was the number 3 seed in that conference, and they beat Dallas on the road in that game. That was the last time a number 3 seed or later made the championship game. Hunter's very close. And
Very close.
Very close. But
Well, Hunter's got a lot of numbers in his head, so you got to give him a little grace.
I know he's arguing with me now, but he said season 6 was the last time. Season 6 was, and it wasn't. It was 8. It was 8. Maybe I'm wrong, and Hunter and I can have a battle royale in the streets
next Tuesday after dark. Cam versus Hunter.
I'll take the one horse-sized duck, and he can have all the little duck-sized horses. So,
no, yeah, okay.
Remember this? Okay. Production.
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
Production is good. We have a production meeting here tonight to talk about the game. We're going to blow out as many storylines as we can. The important. I just saw the Soto graphic. Come on, it's so distracting.
That's Winkler. That's Winkler. That's all Wink, baby.
The goal of a championship game is really to celebrate every player. What did they accomplish, right? What were their biggest games? We want to know what their season highs were. We want to know, if they're set to reach a milestone. For example, doing some really, really big deep diving. It's a crowd play question too, so you might want to pay attention to that. Crowd play people.
Oh, is it a crowd play game on Sunday?
Oh yeah.
I went on the crowd play app to look and see so we could talk about it tonight, and it's not listed. They only have NFL games listed.
It's listed as last I looked, it just had the generic SFL logo. But it's let me double check. I don't want to tell the viewers the wrong thing. I just had a meeting with crowd play earlier today. So that was one of the many meetings, and so I would imagine that we're having crowd play.
Winkler is having a blast with you in graphics right now, but go ahead.
Oh, see, I feel a lot better about my decision about the horse-sized duck. That thing is beautiful.
It looks humongous, though.
So a note on crowd play. I was talking with them earlier today. Anybody out there that's been playing crowd play, or when you're playing crowd play and you're not playing so hot and you just kind of dip out in the second half because you're like, I'm not going to win anything today. I actually learned that your points, every point that you get goes towards the crowd store. And the crowd store can get you gift cards to all sorts of different places. Nike, Target, Starbucks, Uber, all sorts of stuff. And so you actually have you accumulate points. Now we're doing math. What is math? I don't have nobody got time for that.
And we're doing overseas math because we don't do meters in America, bro. I don't know what to tell you, but go on, Cam.
Yeah. But you actually, as you accumulate points, you have chances to get gift cards and stuff from the crowd play store. So if you haven't played either in a while or before, and you're playing during the game and you're not playing very well, don't quit, because the more points you get, the closer you get to gift card purchases. So
that's a good tip.
Yeah, that was cool. So we had a meeting about that today, and really it's just, it's storyline blowout, right? And we're working on trying to put an awesome hype video together like we always do, and we've been working with the teams to get the starting lineups so players can introduce themselves. That has become a championship game tradition, and we just really want to do justice for the game, but not only just for the game. We've got expansion stuff, we've got divisional stuff, we've got pregame top 10 stuff. If you've got a top 10 play for me, tag me, send me a DM, send me something, and because I'll be putting that together over the next couple of days, and I don't want to miss anything. We've had 140 games this season. So that's a lot of games to condense into 10 plays. But we're going to make that happen in pregame as well. So it's just a lot going on. My entire day tomorrow and my entire day Saturday will be spent prepping visuals for the championship game. So it's going to be crazy. Of course, we got minor league in the evening, so I'll take a break for that. But yeah, it's going to be intense, and we're excited, and we just hope for a good game. Honestly, if the game is good, it doesn't really matter what I do. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think everybody is anticipating that it will be a good game, and it's probably going to be a close game. So, well, I don't want to hold you up anymore to get to your production meeting, but thank you for popping in, giving us a quick recap of what's going on, giving Winkler the opportunity to put up all these graphics while you're talking. And if you need a face pic of me, to show up on the game at any time, just DM me. I'll get it to you.
I'm not understanding the context of that offer.
Oh, you said if you had a top 10 play, send it to you. You said you had to work on graphics.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still not understanding.
If you just want to put my face on national television, just DM me. I'll have my people get with your people.
I want you to be a sideline reporter one day, but I'd like you to wear something that isn't very sideline reportery, and we can make a meme out of it.
Okay, only if I get to be in the calendar. You add wide receivers to your tight end calendar, then I'll do it.
We'll put you on the back where they recap all the months.
There you go.
Can just be in the background trying to get attention. That'd be a perfect place for.
Sounds amazing. All right, Cam.
On the calendar.
Thanks for popping.
Thanks, guys. Great show. Great show. We're looking forward to Sunday. We'll see you all.
All right, we'll see you on Sunday. Thanks. Just so you know, on Sunday, and I'm going to announce this again at the end of the show, but since Cam brought it up, the SFL has asked Access Live to do the post-game show right after the championship game. We'll be promoting that, though, so don't worry about it. You'll hear about it, so just be ready. We're going to get the players on here right after the game, talk to them, get their reactions as well as yours, and do a whole show about the championship game immediately after the championship game. All right, moving on to this show. Diva of the Week winner this week. So we had 1, 2, 3. Was it 7 this week, Wink? Yeah, 7. What? Oh yeah, okay, 7. Yeah. All right, and 2 of them are actually with us this evening, and I am proud to announce that one of those 2 actually won. That's why we haven't had anybody else pop on the show tonight, because the winner of the semifinal Diva of the Week award is, who do you think it is? Is it T-Roy or is it Colin? It is Colin Hart. Colin, go ahead and unmute yourself. Congratulations. You are the semifinal Diva of the Week winner. How you feeling?
Oh, it feels good, man.
That's awesome. So along with everybody else, I'm going to have to get your address because I did finally get all my giveaways. I got a big old box of giveaways here. I got to start sending out to people. So you get that. In addition to that, you get your name now thrown in the hat for Diva of the Year, and the Diva of the Year winner will get a big old trophy.
Oh, I want that trophy.
Look at that. So what's up? So I don't know if you've had other accolades, maybe led the SFL in rushing. You might get a championship on Sunday, but really, let's talk about what's important. What does the Diva of the Week award mean to you?
I did get robbed of the Rookie of the Year award, so I think this is about the second best besides the championship.
Okay, there you go. This will make up for the lapse in judgment of whoever gave the Rookie of the Year award to someone else. All right, Hunter. Congrats on that. Everybody voted. You won. We'll post the results of the poll in the Access Live server later this week. So, Colin, congrats, and thanks for coming on and accepting that award.
No problem. Thank you.
Tyree hands the ball
All
off
right,
to Hart.
so
Hart breaking through
to
the tackles,
pickup.
breaks through a third, and
All
he's
right.
off to the races.
So I'm going to kind of alternate these a
20,
little bit.
Can he get there? Trying
I'm going to go
to
to. Oh, are we watching
He can't
highlights?
Quite make it.
Winkler?
Brought down at the
You got Colin? Do we have
line.
volume? Look at Colin.
Colin Hart with
Boom,
over
baby.
100 yards on
That
the
was a nice
ground
run,
now.
Colin, just so you know. I watched that like 4
After
times
that
today.
53-yarder,
Trying to figure
he'll
out
take
what to
this
do.
handoff. Trying to find his way into the end zone, and he gets there. Touchdown, Sioux Falls, and they will extend the lead by 6 more.
What's up with that
Start the
dance, bro?
lawnmower, Mike.
Colin, what is that celebration?
Oh, it's just a little something I came up with in the off time.
You're practicing in front of the mirror at
job, Dylan.
halftime instead of
Yeah,
listening to your coach?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's perfect. All right. Let's get on to our pick'ems. I'm going to go to a panelist, and then I'm going to ask a player question. I'll go to a panelist. I'll alternate them. So first and foremost, we've got at the top of the list, we haven't heard him talk for a little bit, so glad we can get back to him. Frank the Franchise Wade, Season 15, SFL Championship, Baltimore at Sioux Falls. Who you got?
I've got Baltimore in the upset.
You have Baltimore on the road in the upset. T-Roy Gaines, question for you. Tell me one thing that Baltimore absolutely has to do other than score more points to win this game on Sunday.
Take advantage of turnover opportunities. If our defense can either force a fumble or force the quarterback to throw INT, if we can take advantage of that, I think that'll help us out on the road against Sioux Falls.
Okay, awesome. And I saw that you just mentioned the lawnmower is the name of that dance that Colin Hart just did in the end zone.
Yeah, I think that's what it should be called. I mean, I did that before too, so I think that's the lawnmower. He's just revving it up and then just mowing the grass after scoring that touchdown.
There you go. You guys heard it first here. Breaking news on Axis Live. Touchdown dance called the lawnmower. Let's move on to Thomas Smith. Thomas, Season 15 championship game this Sunday, Baltimore at Sioux Falls. Who you got? Oh, did we lose Thomas? Oh, he dropped. Oh, he bounced out. I just saw he just dropped out. All right, we'll have to get Thomas. If he comes back in, we'll go to him. If not, we'll get it from him later. Let's go to Eddie Gage instead. Eddie, who you got? Baltimore at Sioux Falls championship.
Dave, Sioux Falls was so close last year. Got all the way to the championship game, and for whatever reason, tweaked their offense just a bit, and it played right into Atlanta's hands. I'm sure coaches out there saw it. Atlanta played a cover 12 in both nickel and dime the entire game, and Sioux Falls didn't have enough plays in their playbook to capitalize because they took out some of their better things that they do for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. But I got Sioux Falls winning a squeaker here.
Okay. All right, Sioux Falls. So let's go to Colin Hart. Colin, tell me something that Sioux Falls absolutely has to do other than scoring more points to beat Baltimore on Sunday.
I'll say, I guess, we gotta just hold it down. We gotta hold down the defense. We gotta and they got it. They got a good running back, T-Roy. So it could go either way, but I think we just gotta make sure we play our game and stop them when we need to.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Slyn Shady. Slyn, Season 15 championship game. Who you got, Baltimore or Sioux Falls?
I'm going to go really, really risky and pick a team with a bird in the name. I think I picked this team to win the championship every season since they've been in the league, and it is the Baltimore Vultures.
Really? Every year since you've been in the season, or every season you've been in the league? Sorry.
I think I've picked them for the last 3 seasons, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with that pick. It's finally paying off, and
just keep picking them every year until they win.
Also, I've noticed the hashtag the lawnmower. I feel like that's a bit risky considering it sounds like something out of the Kama Sutra.
Well, you know what? Talk to my producer about that. I don't tell you. Actually, you should talk to T-Ray about it. He's the one who brought it up. Of course, you got to go there. Speaking of that, let me go to Mac Chima. Mac, tell me something Baltimore absolutely cannot do on Sunday if they want to win this ball game. Oh, Mac, you're muted, bro.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Yes, sir. We cannot turn the ball over at the wrong time. I mean, at any time, actually, but at the wrong time.
Gotcha.
We have to do the little things. The little things is what will make us win this game.
Got it. That makes sense because inopportune interception, pick six right before the half kind of thing. That you're right. That that could be damage that you can't return back from. Let's see. Let's go to Chad. Chad, I already know where you're going, but I want to put you on record anyway. Baltimore at Sioux Falls, season 15 championship. Who you got?
And now I may shock you a little bit.
What?
I'm just kidding. No. No, I gotta go with the team I helped build. This is gonna be a fantastic game, by the way. Really with the 4 teams that were left over, we were gonna be in a good spot for the championship game, whoever made it regardless.
Right.
But this is gonna be a really fun game to watch. I'm gonna be really excited to watch it, and Baltimore's gonna come out on top. It's gonna be close. But I think with Baltimore, I think they'll be able to make a couple more plays than the defense of Sioux Falls. Look for, and it's funny because Frank called it in our chat, and I'm going to call it here too. Look for Lloyd Graham to be a big factor in this ball game.
Okay. Got it. All right. So Baltimore it is. Jalen Wells, tell me something that Sioux Falls absolutely cannot do in order to win this ball game on Sunday.
We can't turn the ball over.
Like at all?
We can't turn the ball over. We can't give them the opportunities to capitalize on their mistakes.
Okay.
So we got to be smart about what we're doing and, just play mistake-free football.
Yeah, that's interesting. So 3 of the 4 of you talked about turnovers. So we'll all keep an extra eye on that. Sounds like turnovers sounds really important, especially in a championship game. Thank you for that. Hunter, I'm assuming you're still going with Baltimore, but let's put you on record. The numbers say Sioux Falls, but Baltimore Sioux Falls season 15 championship. Who you got?
Baltimore.
You are going to take Baltimore for sure. Okay, just want to make sure. I don't know. Chad had me nervous there for a second. I thought he was going to go back and forth and maybe take Sioux Falls. Tyler, season 15 championship game on Sunday. Who you got?
You're all picking Baltimore. Slim, Norwood, Frank, Chad, in the immortal words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends. Sioux Falls is going to win this game.
Everybody think they slick.
They're better, they're stronger, and they're
picking
well
everybody
coached.
so far. The panel's
They're
picking them up.
going to win. Sioux Falls is going to win this football game, hands down.
Okay, there you go. Sioux Falls. All right, Gunny, you've been talking about Sioux Falls since the very beginning of the season. I have no reason to think that you will change your mind tonight, but I have to ask you and put you on record. Baltimore Sioux Falls SFL championship. Who you got?
The silent assassins that do not ascend to the chat room very much. It will be Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls. Okay, so from the panelists, we have 4 to 3 Baltimore from the panelists. I don't think I skipped anybody. We didn't get Thomas's, but he bounced, so we'll get his later. Let me tell you, I just looked up the Who You Got in the SFL Discord so we could get accurate, up-to-date numbers. SFL Nation, it's pretty close, but not close enough. SFL Nation is taking Sioux Falls 118 to 104 to take home the season 15 championship. So we will see what happens. So that was a loaded show. That was a huge show. That was a lot of stuff in a little bit of time.
Dave.
Yes.
Dave.
Yeah.
As it's the final show before the championship game, I want to know what your pick is. Put your money where your mouth is.
I have never. So I normally don't do these as host of the show because I don't want to necessarily take sides. But I will tell you that I would not. I think Sioux Falls has a little bit of home field advantage. But Baltimore's been playing very well on the road. I would not be surprised to see Baltimore upset Sioux Falls. How's that? Does that answer your question?
Well, you agree with me, so that's perfect. Yeah.
Well, as long as I agree with you, then I guess why even have a show? I mean, we can just DM you and you can tell everybody what I think. That'd be perfect. All right. Thank you, everybody. We've only got about 4 minutes, so I need to really start wrapping this up. So first and foremost, thank you to all the listeners. I've seen the numbers going up and down. We had NFL tonight. We had SFL minor league tonight. We've ranged anywhere between like 50 all the way down to like 20 something. I'm sure a lot of people will catch this on the replay on Twitch, which is fine. Don't forget, this Sunday, we have the championship game post-game show right here on Access Live immediately after the game. So right after the game, all you got to do is switch right over to me, and we'll roll with it. Special thanks to everybody who listened tonight. All my panelists, Frank, Thomas, Eddie, Slyn, Chad, Tyler, Hunter, and Gunny. My interviewees from Baltimore and Sioux Falls, T-Roy Gaines, Mac Chima, Colin Hart, Jalen Wells. Good luck to all four of you, and I really appreciate all four of you being on the show. And hopefully, I'll get some of you back on the show on Sunday. Two more quick things before we roll out of here, and you guys all head over to AJ's show on YouTube at 10:30, which is in 3 minutes. I mentioned earlier, I got all the giveaways. So if you want one of the giveaways, if you've won a Diva of the Week, or I've singled you out as a giveaway winner, or you're just a regular listener and you want the giveaway, DM me your address and I will mail you one. We don't have time for After Dark tonight, obviously, because we only got a couple minutes left. But I wouldn't mind if you guys want to talk about it in the server later. I wouldn't mind talking about this new conference alignment thing that got announced earlier today. That might be kind of fun. I also want to throw a shout out to Jeff Gagne. I believe he was getting married today. So, Jeff Gagne, congrats on your wedding. And I heard you won a car race today, too. So, congrats on that as well. All right, I think that's it. That was a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, but we squeezed it in. We still got 90 seconds left. Make sure you go to YouTube right after this and check out AJ's show every Thursday night, 10:30 on YouTube. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all the love. Can't wait for the game on Sunday. I will see you on Sunday night. And then after that, I will see you Tuesday again, because I see you Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 p.m. on Twitch. I will see you at the Tees. I'm out. Eddie Gage, do you have any last words to say?
What up, though? Everybody, thanks for coming. Good night, and drive home safely.
Formation slightly for this second down and goal attempt. Hand off to Wells again, and this time he charges forward.
Offensive line, do its work, just get great results.
Wells, middle, dragging defenders toward the goal line. Touchdown, Sioux Falls, the second of the day for Jalen Wells, his 5th of the season.